Good morning, everyone, and welcome. And thank you for joining us live. Today's conversation is truly special because we're going beyond the runway. We're honored to be joined by Lize De Vos, a professional fashion model who brings a unique blend of industry experience, health, and skincare expertise from ISA, Carstens Health and Skincare Academy, and real world career balance through her work at Telus International. In this live chat, we'll unpack the reality of fashion modeling, the importance of skincare and wellness, and how Lisa successfully manages multiple careers while staying grounded and authentic. If you're an aspiring model interested in fashion and skincare, or simply curious about what happens behind the scenes of the industry, this conversation is for you. Let's dive in. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be online again for a while. I haven't been doing this for a while, so it's really an honor. And also, yeah, like I've just mentioned, it's a nice way to end the year in 2025.
It's my honor to have you too. All right. My opening question to you is can you take us back to the beginning? What first inspired you to pursue fashion modeling, and how did your journey unfold from there?
So I was very fortunate. I grew up in a house where both my parents were very outgoing, and they also pursued their own careers quite a bit. My mom was an opera singer, and she was also a teacher. Originally from Durban, KwaZulu Natal. So my mom used to sing in the opera house, and we as little kids used to go with them. She took me behind the scenes, and they always wear these amazing costumes and the on stage personalities. And I think my inspiration came from that because from a very young age, I was exposed to that type of fashion, that type of performance. And my mother entered me when I was 4 years old for a modeling competition. It was called Miss Pears. So I mean, I can't even remember it. I just saw the pictures, but she actually entered me, and I think I was placed. I can't remember if I came second or third or whatever. But I also joined at a very young age Bonita Boyle Academy. They were based in Durban. I think I was like 10, 11 when I started
Oh,
pursuing a career in modeling. And I think in today's age, it's still also very relevant. Girls start from very, very young because that's where you are basically groomed as a young girl. There's so much more to just walking a ramp. It's grooming you from a very young age, doing um, confidence work. You have to be confident in actually being on stage and actually walking a ramp. You learn so many different techniques on how to walk properly, how to turn, how to present the clothing. So I was very fortunate to be with Benita Boyle Academy from a very young age. And the whole course layout is basically um, to train you in becoming a model, whether you're going to be a photographic model, as on-stage model, because modeling at the end of the day is you take a backstage, the clothing becomes the more important thing. You as a model basically present the brand that you present that day. So the fashion industry is also very interesting because we've also become a long way. And I've also had this very big dream of traveling. Traveling has always been on the forefront of my life. I've always wanted to explore beyond the boundaries of where I grew up, and I always say I'm so fortunate to be in South Africa and grow up as a South African because we are such a diverse country. We already have all the nations in the world in one country. And the more you travel, you realize that, we have this amazing opportunity to be South African, but also be in the world as a
hmm.
as a world player.
You studied at ISA Carstens Health and Skincare Academy. How would that education shape the way you approach modeling and self-care in such a demanding industry?
Everything in today's world blends together. Because if you take care of yourself and you understand health and skincare, it blends into the fashion modeling world because everything is linked. You have to know how to apply makeup. We also learned that at Isa Carstens. It was one of our courses. Makeup. Looking after your skin, skincare is becoming so vital about skincare as we grow into, I think the 5 years the day I studied in and how it has evolved in such a radical manner. And there are so many new technologies and techniques, even in skincare in the industry. So I've also been fortunate that 6 years ago I did my advanced dermal aesthetics course. I did a year and a half of studying again. I went back to the books. But it was so amazing because we learned about more active ingredients, the latest chemical treatments that people are doing on their skins. I worked alongside doctors as well. And I think it's have to understand that at the end of the day, you still have yourself in a natural way. Nothing comes to being natural. And if you're still doing over Botox, over filler, and going the opposite direction of health and skincare, because there's a very fine line nowadays, I think it's just very important that you maintain healthy skin. And that was, I think, for me, very important when I studied with Isa, that I had the opportunity to also, learn the latest and the best techniques that are available at the moment. And it's just growing as well, So I've completely blended the three careers, if you want to say so. The fashion, the skincare, and the modeling. It's something I've done hand in hand with each other. So I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. Many people see the glamour, but not the reality. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about the modeling industry that you've personally experienced?
Um, for me, it is about basically, when you set yourself up and out there, you present yourself to the world, you will never be for everyone everything. You will always be too much of something and too little of something else. And change is constant. There's trends, they come and they go. When I grew up, I was 18, and then the whole Kate Moss um, look came about. We had to be ultra skinny, ultra thin. They did a campaign for Calvin Klein in New York, and the whole industry shifted. And I'm naturally more of I would say, more curvy person. I'm not naturally skinny. So I think people go and have excessive things done to themselves to fit the mold. And you've got to basically understand yourself. You've got to see, okay, I'm this, I'm not that. I'm this is my height. I can't be taller. It's also like sometimes you're seen as short if you're 1.7, 5'7", which I am. I'm the same height as Kate Moss. And they've always said she's not a ramp model. She's more of a photographic model. You've got to be 5'8", 5'9", even sometimes to be a ramp model. So there's all these misconceptions in the fashion, also in the modeling industry, because as trends come and go, you are you. You can't change who you are. So you just got to find your niche. I think that's the most important thing. You have to stay true to who you are as a person and understand who you are and where you can contribute. Yeah.
Yeah, you balance modeling with your role at Telus International. What strategies help you manage two very different careers without burning out?
I'm a believer of having a balance in life. And I'm very fortunate to have a profession that I can do full time, and then also things I can do on the sideline and be more flexible. I've never say that I'm a full time model, because you can go for castings and you can go for job opportunities, and you're not always 100% sure that you will land the role. So for me, it was always important to have a fixed base income as a steady job, and also the flexibility of doing modeling on the side. So I was basically 2 years ago, I was in Johannesburg, and I joined Rage Models. And what happens is you get casting calls on the day. You wake up in the morning and then you'll get a casting call, and you've got to be ready and up and go. Sometimes you're available and sometimes you're not. So that is just how I make sure I have a stable, reliable income, but I also are open, flexible, and make my hours like I can also attend castings and calls because they come randomly. They can come any time of the day.
All right. From your experience, how important is skincare and overall wellness for longevity in modeling, and what mistakes do you often see young models make?
I think the most important thing in life is to understand, if you're going to abuse your body in any form of way, whether you take too much of anything, whether it's alcohol consumption or smoking or anything like that, the long term effects are so much longer, and to
Mm,
reverse the signs can take also a long time. And I think I've just been very fortunate enough to understand that if you study health and skincare, you understand where everything happens in the body, and you understand things like free radicals, and you've got to take antioxidants. I know in Europe, young girls become more preventative nowadays. So people start at a much younger age with preventative skincare, meaning they do Botox from a young age, so they don't have to sit with later in their life lots of wrinkles and things like that. Not that I say you can't have wrinkles. Like I also mentioned to you earlier on, the industry has shifted now, where women, you're actually now very much in demand, because that's how the demographics have shaped the world. And if you look at the latest, like last year, L'Oreal, when they had the fashion shows in Paris, the
mhm.
ladies were very mature. They Longoria, and she totally away from train
Oh,
and have since you have in your teens, then there are so many ways that you can have good skin. You can, so there are ways to don't, don't dive too deep into um there's actually so much more to it. But my whole outlook on life is health.
oh,
I want to be healthy. So yeah, that's the main thing. Stay
yeah,
healthy.
yeah, true. Have there been moments in your career where you had to choose between opportunity and personal well-being? How did you navigate those decisions?
Well, I mean, 4 years ago, I had COVID. I was very, very
Oh,
ill. I actually, I didn't think I was going to make it, to be honest.
yeah,
Um,
COVID.
and
Mhm,
when you go through a stage like that in life, you tend to look at things differently. And I went for a full screen. I was 46 at the time, and I went for a full screen. The doctor took blood tests and everything, and then he said to me, "I'm actually not that healthy." He said to me, "I've got insulin resistance," and I really had to take full responsibility for my life and decided, okay, this is going to be a reset. Everything takes back burner. I really deep dive into looking after myself. I had to change my whole diet. I had to eliminate sugar. I eliminate so many things from my lifestyle, in order to get healthy again, because I also suffered from long COVID. I
oh,
had hair loss. It was
mhm,
really, really bad.
mm,
But
I
now
can
I see
imagine.
it as I see it now as a blessing, because it really made me took a step back, and analyze everything like up to now. What did I do? What did I do with my life? So I basically just took a step back, and all a big to that from it, but also
Okay. All all right. The fashion industry can be highly competitive. How do you maintain confidence and authenticity in environments that can be very imagine driven?
I think if you enter this industry, you also choose the industry.
Hmm.
It's also a matter of what do you want in your life, and if you choose something, then and like I mentioned before, if you look at the runways overseas, there was a time where everything changed, the looks changed, the body shapes changed. And Victoria's Secret, I know that they actually did a study, and they also noticed that sales dropped, when they basically changed the way they. I just think it's for everyone. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. I mean, AI is taking
Hmm.
going to be competing against AI models that doesn't even exist. You
Yeah,
know,
that's crazy.
your appearance is going to be tailor made through AI. You're going to be there, and you're going to maybe have an avatar. So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, doesn't matter what phase we enter in the world, because the world changes and everything changes. Whether it's skincare, fashion, modeling, everything changes. And the most important thing is to stay true to who you are and choose. Like I say, you've got a choice. If you choose, you want to enter a industry or a profession, you know that you're getting yourself into a certain way of how things will be.
What practical skincare or health advice would you give to aspiring models who may not have access to expensive treatments or products?
The number one aging in the world is the sun. Unfortunately, we in South Africa, we love sunbathing and be outdoors, and we're very much exposed to not only sun rays, UV rays, a lot of rays. Even your phone has rays. So everything for me at this point is protection, protection, protection. Like very very basically.
Mhm.
But sunscreen, I would say, is for me number one. I don't go anywhere without sunscreen. And also, if you just get up in the morning and you go to the store, people think if you go to the beach, you have to apply it. You have to apply it throughout the day. Water intake, very, very important. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Water is mainly the one most anti-aging skincare advice that I can give anybody. Apart from eliminating toxins from your body, skincare actually starts from within. And they've
Mm.
also scent of all creams that you apply to your skin actually penetrates the deeper layers of your skin. So if people understand that it's more about nutrition, it's more valuable than any cream that you ever apply to your face. And that's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah. Looking back, is there
Yeah.
something? Yeah, that's true. Looking back, is there something you wish you had known before entering the modeling industry that could have saved you time, stress, or self-doubt?
I think it is the demand of the industry. If you join a professional modeling agency, you get different things. You get like modeling schools where they train you, and
Hmm.
that for me is very important. Just as all over, rounder, it grooms you. But if you join a model agency, you actually are recruited by a agency, and you So I think you have to distinguish beforehand. Again, do I want to be in the industry because I want to make money? I want to travel the world. I want to be a prominent figure, which you can. But also for me, it was also about the joy of the industry. I love being out there wearing these amazing garments. There's a different energy being on stage and doing a fashion show, or you do a model show as well. um, so I think at the end of the day, if you enter the fashion and modeling industry, just know
Mhm.
to have fun. To stay grounded, have fun, and be 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 who you are, because people they look at you as a person and they employ you as for who you are as well.
All right. I'll ask you my final question and then I'll get to this comment question here for you. All right. My final question to you, for someone watching right now who dreams of modeling but also wants a stable, balanced life, what honest advice would you give them?
My honest advice is, I think, as a young girl, when you join modeling and fashion agencies, like I mentioned, our girls are becoming much younger now when they enter the fashion modeling industry. I think it's very important to stay connected to your family and your family roots. I think your guardians are very important. Your parents are still very important. Take those off. If you feel you enter a something is not for you, sort of
Mhm.
about it. The most ground and good guardians. You have people that join you on the trips, and that's the most important thing. I mean, I was 18 when I left school and I went overseas very first time all by myself. And the world is a big place, and there's so many things that can go wrong. And now with today's internet and online exposure, people also realizing the dangers in that as well. In Australia, they just banned the youth from using social media from under the age of 16.
Oh, okay.
Of the day, as your route, very important.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'll get to this comment question here. This is from Resh Chetan. Hi, Liz. You are beautiful. Have you tried international modeling? Who is your most admired role model?
Um, Thank you so much and comment. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've also traveled. When I went overseas, I didn't work as a full-time model. I think my modeling career was more in South Africa. I've been invited to your
Mhm.
fashion shows, more crowded, and be true to my roots in South Africa. Very much, the fashion in South Africa is just out of this world. The creations that coming out of the fashion industry at the moment, um, for me, is just unbelievable. If you start looking at the upcoming fashion designers in South Africa, that is where I would like to be right now. We have David Swale. He has a show in New York, but for me, the vibrancy of being a South African at this point, I think stay here. Just follow and join a very very good agency. There's so many. Cape Town is the hub. That's where I'm currently also located. But yeah, by my role models, I've always liked, the German models. I don't know why, for a reason, but I liked Claudia Schiffer from a very, very young age. She was kind of a role model for me, and also Heidi Klum, because she also managed to combine everything. She's got a um, very good international fashion, modeling, and TV career, and she's still balancing work life, marriage, kids, everything. And she's doing it. And she's been also assigned as L'Oreal spokesperson for skincare recently. So I think for me, she's a standout, because she's not just managed to be a successful model, she also managed a career in the TV as well. So she's a good role model to enjoying life, and at the end of the day, that's all it's about, enjoy life, be happy, have fun, have joy, and healthy, if as far as you can.
All right. All I got to say that thanks so much for your time and hope to catch up with you soon in the future.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time and effort, and it was lovely talking to you. And yeah, maybe we'll meet again in the future as well. Thank you.
Welcome. Enjoy the rest of your December holidays.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Likewise.
Bye.